Good morning. Welcome to February.
I hope you all had an absolutely smashing January.
This is video 2 of 2025. I'm once again in the outbuilding, although this time I have candles and a cuppa and a blanket, and it's doing nothing. So I started waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, every morning. I've been struggling with the passage of time over the last few months. Just thinking about my past, my future, and where I'd like to be down the road. I've been watching days and weeks and months passing in front of me and genuinely wondering, if life is so short, then why can't I stick to anything? Why can't I practice my guitar for 20 minutes a day, or do exercise, or do orders of magnitude more things, now that I know how much less time they take than I thought they did? Because that's the truth of it, really. I mean, everyone seems to say that time flies when you're having fun, but in my experience, it seems to fly anyway. Whether your day has been an absolute thrill ride of adrenaline and terror, or a boring slog of tasks that you don't want to do, you're still going to find yourself at the other end of your day, lying in bed, processing what you've accomplished with it. So I've been taking some steps towards a better me. Or at the very least, a me that tried to be better than I currently am. And in today's video, I'm going to take you through step 1. I figured that a sensible place to start would be to establish some sort of structure. A morning routine, perhaps. Just some time before things got going to visualize my day and take an honest stab at being intentional about how I use it. The first time I tried getting up early, it was actually relatively easy. I'd packed everything I needed in my bag the night before, so I just got up, picked it up, and simply left the room, trying extremely hard not to wake anybody up. Never before had I realized how squeaky all the doors in my house were, or how many things were on my bedroom floor. I brought everything downstairs with me and sat in a spot near the living room window. The time between that moment and everyone else waking up in the house absolutely crawled. It genuinely felt like time had stopped. There were no cars going past, no buses, no noises. It was just me and a sleepy street. It was actually the first time in a very long time that I had been truly, truly bored. The very first things I noticed were in order. Wow, it's really early. I feel like I'm breaking the rules. Wow, it's really cold. My brain isn't working at all. Okay, so what now? I started with a little exercise that I've been doing since the beginning of 2024. I list the basic actions I want from myself that day, for example, showering, reading, that sort of thing. Listing the absolute basics does a nice job of lowering the bar for the rest of my day by putting tasks I already do as a habit on my list, because it's easy to start ticking things off. Then I list any planned events for the day, like shifts at the coffee shop, band practice, live streams, or meetings with friends. These have usually already been in my calendar for a few days, but listing them out brings them out to the front of my mind and hopefully makes me think about them in a more immediate way so that I can prepare for them there and then. Then I like to list 3 things, big or small, that I feel grateful for. I know how that sounds, but it's a nice way to push some good feelings into my head first thing in the morning. I might say I'm grateful for an enchanting but sobering view of the distant, unreachable stars from my living room window. Or I might say that I'm grateful for my comfy slippers. Anything goes. I might write some thoughts, maybe about how I felt when I woke up, or list anything I forgot, or accidentally kicked into the wall on the way out of the bedroom, and then I like to move on. Taking this one little journaling routine and making it one step in a bigger schedule gave me a huge amount of momentum. Combined with a video by Austin Schrock about changing a little bit every day, linked below, this launched me into a morning routine that I didn't think I was capable of sticking to. My process went from getting up, sitting down, and staying there for 2 hours, getting up, taking vitamins, making a light breakfast, journaling, reading, and practicing German. Things I've wanted to find time for years, all in the space of less than an hour. This was more than motivating enough to hold me to my new waking up time. But of course, there's no progress without obstacles, and I began to notice something new. I realized that I would get to the end of this planned routine and still end up stuck and bored because there was nothing pressing to do, and I couldn't do tasks around the house or think about filming because it was 6:45 in the morning and I was still the only person awake. So I ended up surfing YouTube for ideas on how to effectively use my time, flipping between my calendar and my to-do list, and the endless time I had in front of me on the first day absolutely flashed by over the next week with nothing to show for it. At the moment, that's the part I'm really struggling with, even as I'm recording this. It's really hard to transition between getting ready for the day and doing the day when I'm never sure what my day will consist of. I think my usual first step is to open up and edit a video script, but then I get distracted by the idea of songwriting or week planning or some other needle-moving task. It essentially means that whatever task I try to set my mind to is either half-arsed, or better yet, it just seems to dissolve in front of me as I'm pulled aside by other distractions. It's really irritating. I think the action step here is to pick days for each task. Perhaps Friday and Sunday are my week planning days, and I have 1 or 2 days a week that I put towards songwriting, and the rest are put towards YouTube or Twitch. That way, the time management and planning part, also known as the part I'm most distracted by, is out of the way, and aside from changes and edits, I can focus on what I want to prioritize highest. The next thing I wanted to add to my routine is the action of going outside. Now, the thought of being up at the crack of dawn and running through my council estate pretending that my knees aren't seizing up has never been a dream of mine. But I really want to build up the muscle of being outside before 8 o'clock in the morning, even for a few minutes. I always feel better when I do it, and in winter, going outside makes the inside of the house feel warmer, which means I don't have to turn the central heating on, which means I don't have to watch the gas meter tick down and drain my will to live. I'm also hoping that come the warmer months, this muscle will react in a way that makes me feel more like taken to the streets. There was a short period in spring of 2024 where I would actually go for a morning walk, but it always depended on how busy the house was. I think that if I made it something I do earlier in the morning, then I could make it more consistent. It would also have the added bonus of stopping me from rotting in the living room for 2 hours once the initial dopamine kick of ticking off my morning routine wore off. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Hopefully I can keep building on this routine and it will have some nice benefits. It's already written the script for this video, so I must be doing something right. Maybe we can make it into a series of some kind. What does your morning routine look like at the moment? Do you have any tips or extra things that you benefit from doing daily? Do you think I'm a bit weird? Drop a line below, and I answer all of my comments because I get about 3 per year. In the meantime, have a lovely February, and I'll catch you in a few weeks.